Hey guys, welcome back. It's Coach Bob here, CrossFit Glen Burnie, and we've got a Saturday nutrition talk for you. 5 strategies that you can use to overcome boredom and stress eating. All right, so I got a question for you guys. Are you ever finding a chance that you're eating when you're bored, just some mindless eating, or perhaps whenever you get stressed and, that stress level is inching up a little bit, that you're finding yourself just getting a little, you're just eating because you're stressed. So, so many of us eat due to boredom or stress, and we don't even realize it. Or, we get disappointed in ourselves after the fact. But just because boredom or stress eating can be so common in our daily lives does not mean that we can't do something about it. Now, our brains, we need a break from work. It's absolutely normal and healthy to give your brain a change in focus. In fact, research shows that when we take planned breaks, we're actually more productive. And so likewise, we commonly encounter stresses in our lives too. And you know what? Stress is a normal part of our lives. But how we deal with it and how we deal with stress and manage it in our lives is extremely important. So here's some positive outcomes that we can be looking for when we stop eating for boredom or as a response to stress. Number 1, we could have decrease in just bloating. Number 2, we could be stabilizing our blood sugars so we're not crashing every few hours, and prevent just being unhealthy that way. Number 3, we can decrease our overall calories that we're taking on board, often leading to an easier weight loss. And also just improving our overall confidence and self-control. And finally, saving money on all these groceries we're buying just because we're mindlessly eating when we're bored or stressed. So in this nutrition talk, we're going to discuss 5 strategies, I should say, that you can use to overcome boredom and stress eating. So our first one is all about that mindset. So getting our mindset correct here. First of all, let's just think about how something is classified as being boring. Different things are boring to different people. Some people find exercise boring, but for others, it could be the highlight of their day. So anyway, the key is, how do you think about the task? So when we're bored, we're typically thinking thoughts that make us feel negatively. For example, the thought, this is boring. That's just going to make you feel annoyed. Or this is awful. That can make you feel frustrated. Or this is so unnecessary. That can make you feel anxious. So it makes sense then that when we're bored, we want to feel a positive emotion instead. And we sometimes think that this positive emotion will come from food. For example, the thought, oh, this tastes so good, could make you feel happy. The thought that this is just what I need could make you feel content. However, let's challenge this a little bit. When you do end up eating, when you weren't hungry in the first place, does that positive feeling from the food last? Of course not likely. That's just a quick release of those endorphins that make us feel happy. But then, you know what? They fade away and we're just left with a lot of back and forth brain chatter about what just happened. I shouldn't have done that. I'm so bad. Why can't I have more self-control? And what can often happen is that when we feel that we've blown it and make poor eating choices the rest of the day, the positive feeling from boredom eating is short-lived and often leaves you feeling worse. So how can you fix your thoughts? Try some of these thoughts instead. So let's turn a negative into a positive. Got a boring task in front of you. I just can't wait to finish this task so I can do what I really want to be doing right now? That turns it into a positive. Or how can I make this task more enjoyable? Or, for example, everyone has to do some tasks they don't like in life, and this is just one of those for me. So this mindset shift, I find, is the true key to stopping boredom eating. So strategy number 2, out of sight, out of mind, can be such a helpful strategy when it comes to either boredom or stress eating. Let's learn to read those nutrition fact labels and understand what is really in some of those foods that we have in our pantry. Knowledge is going to be power here, folks, and this can help you make better food choices in the future. And watch out for those kids' foods that are just marketed as being healthy or low in sugar. They're not. It does, just because it says low calorie or healthy doesn't make it so. You know, one tip that you can do, though, if you are going to have these little snacks, is to put them into some portion baggies or some small servings so that you're not eating the whole bag of chips, for example. So, and, you know, if something unhealthy has to be in the house, let's put it in a high cabinet or hide it away in the freezer or out of the way so it's not easily accessible. I like this. But when you're truly hungry, let's make sure that you're having a balanced snack that contains a source of protein, a source of carbohydrates, and a source of fat. And here's some great examples that we put together for you. So you can pause the video and look at that and pick out some of your favorites or perhaps come up with some of your own. Strategy number 3, changing up your routine. So one way to change up your routine is to eat without distraction. Take time to eat your meals and your snacks. And that doesn't mean that when you're watching TV or responding to emails or listening to an audiobook. No, really, you know, set an alarm clock, schedule your lunch, schedule your meals, get away from the computer or the laptop or the Zoom session and have a meal that you can be mindfully eating. TV time is such a boredom eating culprit. Change up your nighttime routine or your weekend TV watching routine or binge watching to avoid consuming too many unwanted calories. Has anyone else become a bottomless pit in front of the TV? Okay, first, decide how many episodes or movies you want to watch. Set an alarm on your phone to go off after this amount of time. You can also bring some water with you or seltzer or tea because we often are making the mistake of confusing our thirst cues for hunger cues. And really, we're just thirsty. And if you find yourself getting bored when watching, best thing to do is just turn off that TV. Turn it off, do something else, read a book, or go for a walk. You know, changing up your routine with anything is going to improve your creativity and the neuroplasticity, how your brain's going to adjust and respond to these new stimulations. Just change your environment. You know, think of it as rewiring your brain for growth. So try this in other areas of your life too, not just TV. Strategy number 4. So the most important thing that you can do is to assure that you're following your natural patterns of hunger and fullness and tune into them by learning more about your own hunger and your fullness. One way you can do this is you can use this chart here where we've got numbers all the way from 1 to 10 or from 10 all the way down to 1. So different levels of hunger are going to feel different for different people. So for example, number 10, you know, this is the binge level of fullness. We've eaten so much that we actually physically feel sick. Number 9 is that I'll move my picture out of the way. Number 9 is that stuffed. Thanksgiving Day full, uncomfortably full. I mean, food coma. Feel like you have to change into your sweatpants. Number 8, you know, slightly uncomfortable full. You know, how you feel maybe leaving a good restaurant. You know, you had a really good meal, pretty much. Slightly distended roundness, fullness of your stomach. Number 7, satisfied, but not stuffed, you know, Your stomach feels satiated and there's a roundness to it, but it's not physically uncomfortable. Number 6, filling up but not full. The stomach is no longer empty and it's starting to feel more full, but you still desire some food. Number 5, neutral, kind of in the middle. How you feel after a couple of hours of having a satisfied meal, kind of right in the middle. Number 4, you're thinking about food, little snack hunger going on. The energy levels are a little low, slight empty feeling in your stomach, but no pangs. Number 3, meal hungry, stomach feels empty, but not uncomfortably so. Maybe some very slight gnawing, but nothing too strong. Low energy, thinking a lot about food right now. Number 2, uncomfortably hungry. I'm talking hangry, starting to get shaky and dizzy, a slight headache, pang, significant gnawing. But I don't have something soon. And number 1, very uncomfortable hunger, dizzy, faint, severe headache, nauseous, so hungry, you're not hungry. So how do you use this scale? The first thing you could do is you can begin by rating a meal or two each day and to see where you fall on this scale. Gauge your hunger level. Prior to eating, before you eat, you can ask yourself, am I hungry? What's my hunger level? The ideal time to eat is when your hunger level is between 3 or 4. And gauge your fullness before ending and then following the meal. The idea is to kind of land somewhere around 7 after having your meal. Or where you feel comfortably satisfied. So pause during your meals and check in with your body and ask yourself, what's my fullness level? And this way, we're going to be very mindful about our eating and we're going to really tune into and get to know those patterns of hunger and fullness that are right for you. Strategy number 5, practice mindful stress management. So how does mindfulness help with our stress management? Most of the time, regardless of the situation that we're in, there's going to be a variety of ways to see and to handle what's happening. And when practicing mindfulness, what it's going to give us is more options. And as we do this more and more, our confidence in our ability to cope grows. And then we're less likely to become stressed when events come along and we feel like it's otherwise somewhat of a threat. So we can use the following to help us to practice stopping and to be mindful when managing stress. So when a stressor has triggered you and you're starting to react, you can follow these 4 steps. First, slow down a little bit, take a breath, observe, what are you feeling in your body? What are you thinking? And what are the other possibilities that exist? And then finally, you can proceed considering the multiple possibilities. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in for these 5 strategies to help with boredom and stress eating. If you found these helpful or you'd like to see how they can help you more, please schedule a time with one of our coaches for a coffee with a coach. So take care and have a great day. Inactivity and poor nutrition steal away energy, make clothes fit poorly, and can even hurt relationships. CrossFit Glen Burnie provides the accountability, structure, and activities that help individuals lose body fat, gain confidence, increase performance, and reclaim health. CrossFit Glen Burnie delivers results for life.